we just cut off bluntly at the end of that song by Bumblefoot there from Guns N' Roses that lent us it's a song named Bernadette. Go to iTunes, check it out, and buy the motherfucker. He's a great guy. Anyhow, we are back. Survivor South Pacific redo Redemption Island. We had our first duel. And to introduce my panel.
We lost Yao.
Right, I'm here.
No, yes.
I'm in a corner. They put me in a corner all the time.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
This week we have Eliza joining us. We have Yao Man. We have a new addition, Stephen Fishbach. We might be able to persuade him to bring Courtney in for a couple minutes or so and jump up and down on his lap. We have Sandra Diaz.
Because she loves cock too.
And speaking of cock, we will get to Mr. Cockring.
But Stephen actually writes for a national magazine, People, right? You still writing for People, Stephen?
People.com.
I am still writing for People.com, yeah, so check out People.com. Yeah.
I am
and
so
check
impressed.
out his blog. I read it earlier today. I saw
you don't know one with a paid gig.
Unlike the rest of us.
He's the only successful survivor?
That's right. That's exactly what I would say.
We're chumps. We do this shit for free.
No shit. I won't even talk about anybody else I know that's doing a bunch of shit for free. Let me go around the horn. What does everyone think Russell thinks of Brandon so far this season? Let's go.
Oh, God, man. I'm your father? Luke, I'm your father. He's got to be proud. The kid's doing him proud. He's lying and scheming and deceiving, but then somehow getting away with it by saying sorry to Jesus and the rest of us viewers and talking about how he's battling good versus evil every day.
Well, this is my big... Go ahead.
Okay, I totally disagree. Legacy is like devious strategy, and then this lunatic comes out and he's like, I'm just like Russell Hantz, I'm a pervert, it's like undoes all of Russell's hard work.
Are you actually suggesting that Russell Hantz has some kind of a smooth strategy and a gameplay? Because I still think he's one of the worst fucking players to ever play the game.
No, I don't agree. I think that the first season he was on, I thought you take out the social aspect, but he came in there to play. Unlike 9/10 of the people that are looking around and they're like, look at the pretty pop.
But he didn't play to win. He never played to win. It's like he played for second place.
The first time he did. The second time he should have realized that he was playing for second place and didn't do anything to change up his game. Eliza, what do you think Russell's thinking of his nephew in there? You think he's like, shut the fuck up and stop talking about me? Or go, Brandon, go?
Well, I think we have inside knowledge because he's been tweeting about it, and I actually saw him in Vegas. And I know, don't hate me for going, but he basically is like this lunatic is out there using my good name, my good graces. The reason that he even got on the show is because he's my nephew, and he's stirring everything up. So I think
he's on the show is because he's his nephew, and because CBS can continue to put his fucking picture on there 25 times a goddamn episode and say his name over and over and over and over. Russell Hantz has been talked about more than 3/4 of the people on the fucking island. Am I wrong?
No,
I agree.
He's in the promos. He's in the commercials for the show. Yeah. That's amazing. He's not even on the season.
He's in the promos, and they have half his face and half Brandon's face. This whole torn by a good and evil thing we're going to get to, and his whole little speech, his struggle between good and evil. I have a clip of that I couldn't resist. What do you think about this? What do you think Russell's thinking?
I think he's totally confused. He's a young, immature guy. He got thrown into a situation he wasn't prepared for. He was one of these, wild kids. I mean, I've run into them. I may be as wild as that, well, maybe not. But then at some point, maybe very recently, he found Jesus, right? And suddenly he's trying to live up to that billing, and he found that maybe it's not so easy to live up to that billing, and he's now totally conflicted. It's horrible to watch. I mean, I just feel painful just watching him.
I think
going
it's
from one way to another, one way to another.
Entertaining. I love it. I love every minute of it, and I love seeing this kind of bullshit. That I'm waiting for the nuclear meltdown. I can't wait. It's just, what do you say, Lex? It's delicious.
It is delicious.
I'm
But,
salivating.
I have to say, last week it was the whole thing was so delicious to me, and this week I found myself starting to kind of regret the fact that I was getting so much entertainment value out of this kid, because I have a feeling that not only is he going to melt down, but he's going to be one of those guys that we've talked about in past episodes of this show that's going to become a fucking casualty of the whole experience. I'm honestly worried about that kid having really severe problems, because I honestly don't think that he's emotionally or psychologically ready for Survivor.
Psychologically, you're right.
And I'm honestly kind of shocked that he made it through the psych profiling. I would have thought that they would have knocked him out as a suicide hazard post-experience or whatever.
I think he found Jesus after the psych test. I think maybe during the psych test, he was the out crazy, the wild kid with the tattoos and so on. And then between the psych test and now he found Jesus. Now
that's not such a bad theory, really. But I mean, honestly, I feel a little guilty about being so entertained by him, because I think we're going to see this kid crash and burn.
I don't feel guilty at all.
I don't believe he
Sandra,
found
go
Jesus.
ahead.
I don't believe he found Jesus. That was like Russell when we first saw him at the airport carrying this big old Bible. They pretend they found Jesus, but it's all a bunch of...
Russell had a Bible?
I think he really found his...
Was it like cut out in the middle? Did he have a bottle of Jack inside?
No, he was carrying a Bible, and we ended up on the villains, and I was like, so why are you here? He was like, I haven't a clue because I don't belong here. But as far as his nephew is concerned, because I really don't want to talk about Russell, he claimed from day one that he would not go and tell these people who he was related to.
Yes.
And even when he took off his shirt, those people didn't have a clue what. So there was no purpose in that.
Okay, well, we're gonna get to that part.
Who
Sandra.
tattoos the word Lil? L-I-L.
What I think,
Lil.
Lil
Hantz.
I think that he really just calls his keys Jesus. So when he says he found Jesus, he just really found his keys under the mattress or something. The whole thing I don't really understand. He's so completely clueless, and I mean, is he just that far gone that he really thought that Michaela was out of there? He thought he had the votes to get her out of there? His
gameplay is so ham-fisted. And that's the one thing that he definitely does not share with Russell, because his delivery's not subtle, but you can tell that the wheels are turning in his head. Whereas this poor kid,
he's on purpose. He's
half baked and he's ham-fisted.
Every time he have an erection, he thinks he's going to hell, right?
Well, if it's pointing in the direction of Michaela, he thinks so.
Guys, I think there's more to the Michaela thing than we're seeing, though. I think that, I was following her on Twitter for like a day, and she was so ridiculously obnoxious, I had to unfollow her. And I follow like everyone. And she was like tweeting, she tweets like, in this very annoying fashion, and in talking to people, it sounded like I have a friend who used to bartend with her, who says this is a girl who's a bartender, and she's very superficial, and I think Michaela's getting a very good edit right now, and I think that there are a lot of people who don't like her.
What if she toned it down for the show? What if she toned it down for the show?
Yeah, she looked good in the Playboy video I found. She looked good.
You know what? It's like the Sugar effect, because Sugar in that first season, everybody couldn't figure out why. Everybody watching couldn't figure out why all the players seemed to hate Sugar so much, because she got a good edit. And honestly, at the end of the season, I couldn't figure out why people were loathing on her. But I've since heard that she was evidently impossible to be around.
Yeah, but Brandon's not just he doesn't just hate her. He has this whole confused rape fantasy about her. He's
right.
Whether or not she's annoying.
Brandon thing is a whole nother thing.
Right.
Without a doubt. All right, let's go to our first clip. Roll it, fetus.
Hey, Brandon, you got a minute, bud? Sorry, I don't know what you have against me.
I wanted you to go home.
What's up? His penis against her.
If you'd have problem, you said, Michaela, what's the deal? Did you come up to my face? No, you tried to do sneaky stuff behind my back. So are you just trying to mess with my words because you want me out because you don't like me?
Yeah, it was.
Is that what it was?
It really was. And I've made that known to everybody.
That you said it because you didn't like me.
Absolutely.
Why don't you like me? Because I didn't make
Because of this. Just the attitude. I don't know.
Oh, well, that was cut off kind of abrupt.
I don't buy what he's saying.
No, it's because he wants to fuck her, and everybody knows it.
I love that he's not at all flustered. You know, like anyone else in that situation, or like definitely me. Like I would get so flustered if some girl confronted me and was like, so what's your problem with me? And he's like, yeah, I just don't like you. Like that's pretty ballsy.
It was weird, but then it was interesting how flustered he got when he decided to pull that play out of the Big Brother book and said, well, we're going to bring this out in the whole everybody. We're going to talk about it in a big circle, which is like, I mean, it is the most absurd thing in my mind to do on Survivor when you decide to like out somebody and throw gasoline on a fucking fire. Because I mean, it's a chance
when he out himself at the tribal council.
He outed himself when he called her out. I know. It did not do anything but make him look even worse.
But then he gets flustered. Then you can see him sweating and fucking freaking out.
He's losing his best ally in Coach. Coach is ready just to get rid of him. Am I wrong?
But Coach seems to still be actually willing to work with him.
Coach is coaching him along.
I think Coach likes being a coach so much.
Actually, that's not a bad strategy. I mean, if I were there, I would bring him along just so I know, if you get him along to the final, you're guaranteed to win, right? I mean,
yeah, but you got a lot of other people that are transparent. That strategy is that don't like him.
But the other guys may not.
But it's still the Philip effect, the Twyla effect, whatever you want to call it, bringing the person to the end with you who you know will never get votes.
Shut up.
If I was there, I wouldn't even allow him to get
it's the Stephen Fishbach effect.
My problem with him is that he thinks that he can call a group meeting every time he sees fits. And for me, I find that I hate it. Like, if you're going to call a team meeting, you must think that you're in charge here. And for that alone, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And it makes everyone feel so uncomfortable. Did you see Sophie's face? Like,
absolutely.
And everyone's just like, what do we do here?
Well,
and he's like, does anybody else want to add anything? And everyone's like,
They should have said, okay, well, you know what? Now it's time to send you packing.
It's uncomfortable enough being in that game like that when you're constantly trying to figure out what you can and can't say, and then someone is forcing your hand. It's horseshit.
He's way over his head is what I see. Let's go to the first duel. Was everybody as bored as I was with this?
Ugh.
I mean,
they got to shank Redemption Island. They got to get rid of it. I hate it.
Even the first season, you guys heard me. You all said when they ended it the first time, they should have ended it, not then continued it on after they brought Matt back and put him into the tribe and he's voted out again, put him back on Redemption Island. It just beat it to death. Then I would be a little bit more down for like going through this again, but watching these two on Redemption Island going through this duel, I could really give a shit who won. And I'm saying the same thing I did last season. Whoever ends up coming back isn't fucking going anywhere. They're gonna be voted out right away again.
Why would you keep them when they come back? You just send them back to Redemption Island. I mean, it's easy.
It could happen though, right? Like it could happen once where like there was a good circumstance. Like last season, if they hadn't been such fuck ups, like they would have kept Matt and like voted out, Rob or something. Like there was a reason.
Well, Matt wavered so bad last season.
Yeah.
Where he's like trying to get everybody together, and then he's like, never mind. After he outs, who's the girl that he outed?
Andrea.
Oh, Jesus Christ! If I was her, I would have drowned him right in front of everyone. Just held him under the water.
But I think there's something that happens. There's something that happens when you play Survivor. It's like we all get these kind of wild, these kind of sometimes irrational notions that when we're in the jury or coming up to the end, that the people that we bring, we feel should be people that deserve to go farther. And we often think about this person deserves to go farther because they played harder, rather than think about a lot. And that's maybe why I never won. But I think I got to think that some of these people are thinking that person spent half the game on Redemption Island when we had to sit out here and fucking deal with these socially awkward, this gauntlet. And so fuck you. You didn't earn your way. Get the fuck out.
That's the way I think about it too. I don't think that this should be there. Did anybody catch Probe's reaction when Poetry Girl was going off on her spoken word? That long ass huff where he's just like, I thought she was praying for a minute. I thought she was praying. Did you catch his reaction though?
Yeah.
He went does, I think.
Oh, he was. Yeah. It was like a tire that was going flat.
Right. I mean, one of the most awkward moments in Survivor history, I would say, was listening to that. And the fact that they kept it was
And they almost get a letter of the whole from beginning to end. It's like, I would cut to the beginning and then cut to the end and be done with it.
Right? No, it's because it was so whacked. I mean, when you listen to the words, you're like, fuck, we gotta air this.
Well, like I said, I thought she was
trial,
praying or something. It just like caught me by surprise, and I'm just like, Probst is sitting there going, what are you fucking wasting my time for? I got shit to do.
But then did you guys catch...
Back to my tent. I
know,
had some
right?
champagne to drink, and there's some caviar waiting for me, bitch.
Did you guys catch Coach rolling his eyes at it too, though? And I was like, Coach, seriously? You are like the king of master ramblings. How dare you roll your eyes at anyone's
Also, he had a poem. He had like a poem in his tribal council, you know?
I know!
He took that straight from his playbook.
Yeah.
I was like, Coach, that is exactly what you're going to do if you ever go to Redemption Island. You're going to go, wait, we can't do this challenge yet. I must do yoga first.
Did anybody even give a shit who won?
No.
No.
I couldn't even tell you their names.
Did you really?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, if I had to choose, like...
I thought that Semhar was a little easier on the eyes. Christine's a little bit more obnoxious.
Steven really loves Survivor.
I don't know. Christine's a New Yorker. You know, gotta root for the home team.
But now I'm rooting for Papa Bear.
Yeah.
Did you see his underwear?
Yes. Him scurrying through the
How come
forest.
they didn't blur his little package? Then they blur Coach. What's with that? They don't let old guys hang out. The young guys can hang out.
Coach gets his dick
that's
pixelized.
age discrimination there.
No, Coach has a blur clause in his rider. It's like anytime I'm in my shorts, you gotta blur the junk out. It's in his rider. It's like one of those things that a returning player might get away with asking production for. It's like, here's the deal. You don't have to pay me, but blur my junk out.
They had his junk all blurred and pixeled out. I was waiting for Papa Bear, a big magnifying glass, to come out.
Yeah, that's true. Because there's no junk in that trunk.
Now, okay, so many people that get voted out first. I don't give a fuck what show it's on. They have this righteous speech as they're on their way out the door saying, at least I kept my integrity, and blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out.
Dick, if you get voted out first, what else do you have to keep other than your dignity?
That's all they got. That's all they got.
The weight, I guess, kept your weight on.
But that's why they're gone, because they decided to play with integrity. You can't come out.
Uh-oh. Sandra froze. You
what happened? Did I
freeze? Mid-word.
I get Yao over there to fix your interweb.
I know, Sandra. I have to come over and fix your pixelation.
No, look, I was perfect, and then I see everybody frozen, and I'm like, geez, were my words that bad?
Bad at you.
No, I said you cannot play Survivor with integrity. You cannot. That's why they were the first out. You have to put that.
I think the first out is always because they're the weirdos. They don't fit in. It's always the freak.
Or they play too hard, too fast. They're overconfident and they talk shit and stuff.
On Survivor, it's always the fucking weirdo. It's always the person that does not fit in with the group at all.
That's not true.
It's always a bitchy girl.
It's often the bitchy girl.
You know what?
Francesca.
Eliza.
No, Francesca is amazing. Jessica DeBen. I mean, these are people who were...
Nothing doesn't fit in better than a bitchy girl.
Who goes right off the bat and tells a returning player she tells a returning player that you're only temporary, you're going to be out of here, and you don't think you're going to be a target? And the first hour, shut the fuck up for the first hour. Okay, second out. Like, is that a big accomplishment? Second instead of first?
That's why they're cast, right? Because they can't shut up. Like, that's how you get on the show.
Now, let's talk about not being able to shut up. Let's talk about Ozzy not being able to shut up. Let's talk about Lil Hantz not being able to shut the fuck up.
But he didn't learn nothing from the first time. He's always telling people his idol is a community idol.
That was so stupid.
It was unbelievable. And then the next scene they show is who the hell was it? The guy that he told.
Keith.
Keith goes running to, I have it written down here somewhere, I don't know where it's at.
The blonde chick.
Whitney.
Goes running to her in 2 seconds and says, guess what? Nobody can keep a fucking secret. you shut the fuck up. That's one thing that I appreciated about Rob's game. Nobody knew he had the idol. He didn't he took the clue, threw it off of the fucking cliff, and he just shut the fuck up about it.
He might be the only guy that could shut the fuck up about finding the idol. I don't know that anyone else has fucking pulled that off.
I thought Yellman.
I'm here.
I shared it with Earl, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, because he had to help me get the troops away.
Yeah.
Well, Yellman had some great moves with dreams, but we're not gonna talk about that one.
I got a postcard from Fairplay.
Oh, there's Piper.
I have it on my fridge.
I got it on my fridge too. She's so cute. That girl is so cute.
How did that come out of Fair Play?
He's got a nice... His sperm went to the right womb.
Yeah.
All right, Little Hands. This guy can't keep his mouth closed.
We have Little Hands.
H-A-N-D-S.
Little Hands.
All hands.
We're giving him way too much air.
I know.
Well, so is Survivor.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He made a comment that he would rather have friends than $1 million. I say, go to your fucking Bible study and make some friends there and stay the fuck off my television set.
He must have a severe deficit back home if he's on Survivor to find friends. He must have some problems.
Wait, is Lex saying something?
He must have severe fucking friend deficit back home if he's going on Survivor to find friends.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Lex said that he has a deficit if he has to come to Survivor to make friends.
So
she can't hear anything.
Lex said...
No, I got it. Can I get some subtitles?
Yeah.
Eliza, are you using the stupid Apple earphone?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a stupid one.
Hey, I got it too.
I love Apple, but their earphones suck, okay? That connection does not fit the Apple laptop.
As I'm checking my connection. Anything else, Yao?
Yao swears he's so technologically advanced, but he's always like muffled when he's talking out of that speaker. Somebody tell him that.
Oh, no, you have bad earphones.
No, it's true. It's true, Yao.
I'll adjust my
If Sandra's got the worst video quality, you got the worst audio quality with that microphone, that thing that, like the girl from Lifetime magazine that takes your subscription.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Let's go to the clip where Brandon is struggling with good and evil.
Are you guys fucking with me?
No, I'm not.
Are you really?
Sorry, Lex hasn't been speaking for like a half hour.
Are we ready for that clip, Fetus?
I can't tell if I'm serious or not.
The wheels are falling off the truck.
I think I have gas.
Oh no.
How much easier would it be to be in the group, right?
Oh, they're sitting pretty.
Because those five are connected. We got put on Bobby Dolls and Ken's team. We really did. But I don't understand how you and I became...
Because we look different, we talk different, we say different things.
Right on,
It's obvious.
Cochran.
If I go tonight, you're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you go tonight, I'm going tomorrow.
I'm just hoping that it's not me tonight.
Oh, obviously, I'm hoping it's not me tonight. We are...
Okay, do you think that it's not just the way that they walk and they talk and they look and they act? Don't you think that some people do this to themselves?
Yes.
Because they feel this about themselves, so immediately they basically put themselves on the outside, and then they go, well, I'm on the outside, I'm not, somebody go with this.
And then they do everything to reinforce the fact that they are on the outside, and the message gets across loud and clear.
No. I disagree. Guys, I think I can speak from the perspective of an outsider, and I didn't put myself on the outside. I was pushed there by the mean, cliquey girls.
Oh, you were obnoxious in your season. You did it to yourself. What the hell are you talking about?
You know what? Look around you right now. All of us that are doing the show could arguably be put in that group of the outsiders. I mean, you've got Yao, who's like one of the olders. In high school, I was the total nerd kid, and then now I was kind of the tattooed freak boy outside. Steven outside. All of us could arguably say that we were outsiders, but in order to find your way on the inside or gain some ground and actually last a bit longer than you would if you just sit there, you've got to do something, right?
That's all about. Listen, this is the way it is in life, and this is the way it is in these games. It's all about attitude. Really, am I right or am I wrong?
100% right.
Let's take a band like Weezer or Devo, okay? These are the geek. Let's say, Smashing Pumpkins, the biggest fucking geeks in the entire fucking school get together and make the coolest rock band that hit in that time. It's all about attitude. It's all about how you hold yourself. It's all about security in yourself, self-confidence, so on and so forth.
Once you got that, it's about numbers. It's about making an alliance with a couple people that are going to hold some sort of power in the game. And these guys were like lambs to the slaughter. They just kind of sat there and waited for the axe to fall, hoping that it wouldn't be their neck that got in the way of the axe. I mean, it was like, it's going to be Cochran and Papa Bear, like, it's going to be me or you. Well, I would be going out of my way to scramble and figure out an angle.
Well, the Papa Bear though.
Papa Bear ran?
Yeah,
he ran right into the jungle.
But it's a social game, right? To get to the inside, you have to play the social game. Suck it up and go kiss up to some of the people on the inside and get yourself into the inside.
And be confident. I mean, have some level of confidence in yourself, whether you're different or not. Be confident in what you are, because that's what people light up to, and that's what gets people. That's what makes you interesting to people and makes them want to actually know you and hang with you.
Now,
and Dick, do you have that clip of Pop Bear running? Because I'd love to see that.
Actually, I don't. That was one that I as soon as I said it, I was like, oh man, I should have had that clip. But where the hell was I going with this?
That they put themselves in those situations.
The whole competition. Ozzy really pointed out, Ozzy wants Cochran gone. The competition, how come nobody picked out Dawn? Or as Papa Bear says, Dawn, East Coast New York, Dawn. How come nobody picked out Dawn? She sucked. She fucked the rope up a number of times. She was, as far as I could see, I thought she was the weak link in the competition.
She's a mother figure. Mother figures are safe. She's a mother figure.
Well, dude, in that competition, like, the girls were the weak links, right? Like, they were even going into the grappling hook part, and then the girls fucked it up.
Yeah.
Ozzy has a thing for weak players. That's what it is.
Coach kicked ass in that grappling hook part. Ozzy, was he afraid that his pants were going to come off on the television?
Right? Yeah,
and then he let go of the bodyboard, and he's like, oh my God, my drawers are coming down. I would have said, fuck that. How many people have been naked on Survivor? Who gives a shit? You're going to have a little pixelized penis. Who cares?
Kick your shorts
off. Was like down his shorts or something.
Not during a challenge.
What?
Not during a challenge. He should have just let his pants go. How many times have we all
kick him off.
Out?
Kick him off. Fine. Just kick off your shorts.
Yeah,
CBS spent a lot of money with pixels on him.
Oh, you know that, do you? How did you like the fact that as soon as they came up to Papa Bear and tried to give him this line of bullshit that he was saying and Cochran was going, he's like, these motherfuckers are a bunch of lion sack of shit.
I loved it.
I'm out of here. Where's the idol, man? Where's the idol?
I loved it. But I love that he didn't buy it for a second. I loved that.
Why didn't he just tell them to their face though?
I thought it was funnier, like the way they were like, he was like almost trying to convince them that it should be him, because he was just like fucking with them, He was like, oh, really? What about me? Like, aren't I a good target too? Like,
I gotta give him points. I gotta give him mad points for that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people don't a little bit more subtle, like start planting seeds. Know that they're close to being on the chopping block. He should have started planting seeds about Cochran, or even sabotage him during the competition if he knew they're going to lose. Whatever the fuck it takes after the competition, say, God damn, dude, how did you drop that rope? Whatever it is, just point it, just put a little bit of attention the other way.
I think a lot of people that play Survivor now have watched too much Survivor, and they think that the gameplays are simpler than they are, and they can just be ham-fisted about it.
That's a great point.
I think that they've watched so much, and they've watched 13 episodes of 22 seasons, and they think, okay, here's where I just do X or Y or Z. Whereas, in the old days, it's like you didn't know what to do, and it was like office politics or life, you're like, okay, I got to be really fucking careful here. But these people are taking these simple plays out of the book and thinking they can just apply them and push a button. It ain't like that.
And especially recently with like all the focus on like idols and like Russell, and like I actually think Russell is like a better strategist than like he even gets credit for, because I mean, I'm sure you guys disagree with me, but like he does a lot of that very subtle social manipulation, but like the thing that gets broadcast is like, he finds another idol, so people are like so focused on that as like the move.
Yeah.
Well, and you can't argue with Russell's results, because the fact that people
his manipulation to the camera, he doesn't do that crap to your face. That's
but the people still do what he says. The fact that, I mean, I can't argue with Russell's results. As much as I hate his method of play, somehow, as despicable as he seems, he still has people doing his bidding, which I cannot fucking understand.
How about the fake idol? He stuck the rock in his pocket, and everybody's like, his penis is not that big. He's like either faking an idol or he's got an idol. Something's going on, but obviously nobody bought into it because they didn't even split the votes just in case.
He never even pulled it out, and he took all that time to make it look like one, but he never even pulled it out.
No, I didn't think the object was to pull it out. It was just to stick it in his pants and make people think that he had it. It was just a
then he should have just put a rock in there. He made it, and wrapped it up.
I think he just put a leaf around, to be honest with you.
Do you think that would have worked? Do you think that would have worked if Ozzy didn't have the idol? Like they would have been like, fuck it, like let's just vote for Cochran.
Well, I don't think there's only 3 people that knew that Ozzy had the idol, right? Ozzy, Whitney, and Keith.
Yeah.
But you know, it was during Tribal when Jeff asked, does anybody have the idol? It was sad because nobody seemed that surprised that he didn't have it, and the look of he's like a deflated balloon. He was just like, I mean, it was sad to watch.
And we didn't have Eli. That's not an idol.
She's watching TV.
No, I'm not. I can't hear Lex, so it's hard to participate because I can't. I'm like out of the conversation. So I was texting Pat to see what I should do, and he's like, "You can log out." I was like, given how much trouble I had logging in, I don't think I should log out.
You stick with it here.
Get on chat and I'll tell you.
We're going to go to the next clip, and then we're going to do some video mail. Some
Erno.
And I think
Cochran, you're a bright guy. You think you can find the idol?
It's possible. I just think that you have to weigh the pros and cons of searching.
I love Cochran. He would so be my buddy out there.
Very suspicious, and it makes you look like you don't trust everybody else on your tribe. It's all about fostering a culture of trust in the tribe, and searching for an individual immunity idol is not necessarily the best way to avoid the chopping block.
Now, this is exactly what we were talking about last week. Why is it such a sin to go looking for the idol? And
I think
Cochran, he really summed it up very well.
He was directly talking to Jim about it. I mean, he's just trying to get him to see his reaction.
How did you like that? Keith's little smirk on his face looked like he was had his hand in his pocket, was like playing with his wiener during that time. He just
Dick, how do you see this stuff? Somebody's always in and somebody's always with the balls, and I'm like, how do you see this stuff?
I learned during Big Brother very, very early on that if you pay attention to people's reaction during competitions, during games of competition, people out there on alliances, their own secret alliances and everything else, during that moment where they're just so happy they're not going on the block, and they know it, and they're like, woohoo, give me a big hug, and it's like, oh, those 2 motherfuckers are in alliance. And I just always keep an eye on people's faces. One of the big things in my season that made me realize even people in my own alliance didn't give a fuck who went home was when it was me and my daughter against Jen and Kale, and they're all sitting on the sideline cheering for both of them, not giving a shit who wins because they all know it's none of them. And that's when I got clued in. Fuck this shit. Nobody should feel safe. Why is it us 2 battling the 2 and all these assholes sitting on the sideline drinking a beer and having some popcorn watching the fireworks? And that's when I wanted to change stuff around. So I always just kept an eye on everybody's face and everybody's reaction because it gives away a lot of stuff.
So on Big Brother you watch their faces, but on Survivor you watch their hands. Right, that's what you're saying. Because you're always, did you see his hand?
Very good, Sandra. Very good.
So it's like who you sleep with, right? I mean, like famously on Survivor, it's like who you're cuddling with at night, and it's just crazy. Like people can't hide it. You can't help yourself.
And it's so ridiculous because it's such an easy way of outing yourself, especially when it's so. When is the last really good secret alliance in any of these shows?
Well, it was on Big Brother, right? It was the Brigade.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll give them credit for that. That was a good secret alliance, just because the rest of them were a bunch of idiots and couldn't figure it out. But the last good secret alliance in Survivor has been quite a while. Why come nobody has these secret alliances, man? Those are the ones that do the most damage.
Because someone always tells.
It's pretty fucking difficult to have any kind of secret alliance on Survivor, honestly. I mean, everybody's always aware of where everybody else is. I mean, it's hard to hide when you're on a fucking beach.
Yeah.
And you're also.
I thought I had a secret alliance with Candace, but Candace had a secret alliance with Russell, so.
We see who that worked out better for. Who do you think? Let's go around the horn with this one, then we'll go to video mailbag. Who do you think is playing the best game at this point? Steven.
Oh my God, Sophie.
Who's Sophie?
I'm thinking, who is Sophie?
Sophie's a good choice.
She's a girl on the Polar Tribe.
I got it. Sophie's
Is it
choice.
Sophie's choice? Yeah, Eliza's chiming in. And she doesn't even realize that she had a good one in there. Which one, Sophie?
She's the chick in the Polo Tribe. Yeah, exactly. And she's like in the best alliance, and she's in like she's like the lieutenant. I think the lieutenant is the best place to be right now. She's Coach's lieutenant. You always see him going to her to be like, here's what's going on in the tribe. And then she's just sort of like sitting there nodding her head.
What does she look like? I still don't know who we're talking about.
It's not the fat girl, is it?
Yeah, you could
probably I know who you're talking about. Right. Yep.
The fat girl. Okay, Lex, who do you think's playing the best game?
I mean, God, it's so hard to say at this point, but I'd say probably Albert because he's gotten the least airtime. I mean, no one seems offended by him. He seems very fit, so he's not going to go just because he can't win at a challenge. And he hasn't. I just don't think he's offended anybody. And he's a good-looking dude. I mean, he's probably at this point. He can't be doing too much wrong at this point, or he'd already be a target.
Am I the only one that finds the pot grower?
I said, go Albert. He's the only cute guy this season, so I'm rooting for him to stick around.
I think the pot grower's name is Jim.
The pot grower is, thumbs down to the fucking pot growing. What else does he do? He's,
poker player.
Poker player.
Poker playing dope dealer. Yeah, thumbs down. That guy thinks he's so great.
But somebody looked up his poker results, and apparently he's not a very good poker player.
Well, I'm not surprised.
He's no Jean Robert, let's just say.
I hope he's a better pot grower than he is a poker player. Eliza, who do you think's playing the best game?
Oh gosh. God, I think Coach, for the fact that he's a returning player and he had all the chips stacked against him from the start, his tribe wasn't super excited for him to be there, and he seems to be in a really solid position with an alliance of 5 with people close to him. Everyone's confiding in him. Had Ozzy not blown his load about the idol, I probably would have said Ozzy, but I think I have to say Coach.
I agree with Coach. I think Coach is a good choice. I can't agree with you on the Ozzy thing, though, because I think Ozzy, from the get-go, has been playing a dog shit game. I mean, he hasn't changed it. He seems like he hasn't learned anything.
Right, but he's 0% being targeted. He's with the core group. He's with the core, they called it what did they call it? The Ken and Barbie tribe.
Because they're still starry-eyed. They targeted
him when the pot dealer was saying that he's trying to figure out how much clout he has last week. And kid on the secret scenes is gonna tell Cochran something about, hey, let's get together against Ozzy. So
it does not look good. It does not look good for him next week.
I'm gonna agree with Eliza on Coach, and I am not a Coach fan. Coach knows that I am not a Coach fan, and I have to say, for someone who walked on and she was like, well, you're just a temporary player, he's in a good spot.
I have to agree with you guys. It's good.
But I don't think that everyone is like, the returning players can never win this season because of the huge bias against them. But I don't buy that at all. I mean, like they come out with all that experience, and
that experience is worth its weight in gold out there.
I think if Ozzy, look at the people in the past. When they had two returning players, you had Steph and Billy Joe Bob, or whatever the fuck his name was.
Bobby John.
Stephanie went all the way to the end, was the final two. Last season you had Russell and Rob, and Rob ends up winning the game. I mean, I think it actually puts you in a good position.
I think if Ozzy make it to the merge, Ozzy could. I mean, who else would be a challenge against him on individual challenges, right? Once you get to the individual challenges, Ozzy could wipe them clean, right, and make it all the way.
That's only if they're physical. Everything is not going to be physical, so he's not going to always win everything.
He's also good at puzzles. I mean,
he might have to.
Not compared to people who are good at puzzles.
These are all reasons why I don't think they should bring back returning players and mix them with new players. I think it should be all. It just ain't fair.
You know what? And me being on like a week of Big Brother last season, I knew I had a very big advantage, even though that our numbers were lower than the new people's. These people are looking around, going, "I'm in the Big Brother house." Yeah. And we already had 3 or 4 people lined up to go home, and they're still looking around, going, "I can't believe I'm in here."
And it's not so much even that it's not fair, because life ain't fair, but it's the fact that it ain't that fun to watch, really, when you've got people that are clearly so ahead of the game that these others they're gonna eat everyone else's lunch.
It's going to be one way or the other. They're either going to go home right off the bat, or they're going to last a very long time.
I also think it kind of retards the potential good strategists that might emerge.
Absolutely.
You never have a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Either they're super fans and they can't believe they're actually in a game with Ozzy, or they're piggybacking and relying on these people not learning on their own. And half of what's interesting about Survivor, at least the first few weeks, is watching people's comfort zones tested, watching them actually try to create a shelter. Here they're just like, "Okay, coach, tell me what to build. Okay, Ozzy, get me some fish." That is just not interesting.
No, you're exactly right. Let's go and do some video mailbags, and we're going to have to wrap this up. We're rolling a little long. And for those of you that weren't with us last week, don't leave right away, because we're doing a couple of 6-minute segments for Juiced this week. So
I have to leave at 7.
Okay, bitch, hold on.
It's 10 o'clock. What do you 7? It's 10. You pay.
Stick around with one video mailbag. Roll the video mailbag.
He's in California.
Hey, what's up, Dick and whoever the fuck else is on the show this week?
Okay.
My question is going to be simple, rather. It's going to be quick. And all I want to know is basically, and this might sound a little...
It's already not quick.
I know, spit it out.
A lot more often.
Today.
Out of all the seasons of Survivor, who do you think is the most underrated Survivor winner in the past 22 seasons?
We already had that question.
Yeah. Ryan Heidick.
The first thing to say is my grandmother has a thicker mustache than that kid. My Italian grandmother, by the way, not the Irish one. I'm going to say Todd Herzog. You say Heidick, Lex?
Yeah.
Sandra?
Who underrated? Vecepia was a good player. No, but you know what? Yeah, let's go with Todd.
I'm going to say Todd was one of the best strategists.
I don't think he's underrated. I think you can recognize how good he was.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not underrated.
They haven't brought the motherfucker back. He's not like one of the icons of Survivor, which I think if he had another chance, I think that he could reach that status. Steven,
I'm going to say... Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
Wait your turn, bitch.
All right.
I'm going to say I want to say Natalie White. I think she played an awesome social game. She charmed everybody. Go Natalie White.
I have to agree, because I don't know who that is.
Come on.
Eliza.
I'm going to say Chris Doherty. I think he's totally underrated. He turned around. He was outnumbered.
You think he's underrated? He was amazing. Absolutely. The fact that he played against all those girls. You're right, probably because they don't talk much about him. But he played an amazing fucking game.
He did.
All odds against him.
Yao.
I think Earl won the Fiji my season. He's way underrated.
I believe that too.
Nobody remembers him. But he actually was manipulating and playing but
Yeah.
it didn't show on the.
You know
on
what?
the
There's
season.
not one Survivor. There's so many underrated winners. They really
You're
are.
right.
So
You're right.
It's
Yule.
hard to just pinpoint.
Yule.
Yeah,
Yule's
because
a
you
good
have
one.
to be out there with
Yule's
them.
well rated.
You have to be out there.
I
No,
would
he
love to
died
see
off,
another
too.
season of really hardcore players. Not worrying about who has the most Twitter followers, who has the biggest fan
Bones
base.
to bones, man. Bones
Bring in
to
some good
bones.
fucking players.
it,
and
like,
I
bring
want to see a
it.
good goddamn season.
Yup. Bones to bones.
That's it. Let's go to the next video mailbag.
Erno!
Finland.
Igor, look, he's got a shirt on.
Oh, yeah, look.
Like I told Central last week, it seems like they are finally having Survivor Finland. Finally! Next year, probably. So my question is, how do I get on the show? How do I convince those producers to get me to the show?
You're doing a
Alex,
good being creepy.
you
That's all
Yeah.
you gotta do. That's what you want.
Yes, I mean, that's so easy. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't change, Erno. Don't change.
You can get this
Yeah, that'll get you on for
from the
real.
nearest
Because they'll
supermarket
think you're
for like
different.
€5. Nothing special.
All right, I have to take leave. My students waiting.
Are you talking about ping pong again?
Yes, I have to give lessons.
Bye, young man.
I
See
keep
Yao.
telling the goddamn producer, I want Yao's face on that scene from Forrest Gump where he's just like going to town.
All right, I'll get you some footage.
Bye, Yao.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks for coming, Yao.
Bye, Yao.
So what's our advice to Igor over here?
He wants to know how he can get on Survivor Finland.
Wear that shirt into the audition and say he has the support of all the past survivors.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so next
That
video.
is not
mailbag.
good for US. Don't do that if you're applying in the US.
Hey, it worked
Hi, guys.
for Brandon.
Jack Silver from Canada here, and I'm just wondering, so in my opinion they're probably going to do Redemption Island for one more season. Maybe not, but I think that they probably will do it for season 24. So assuming that they are going to do it for season 24 and they're going to keep the formula, bring 2 people back, and assuming that they won't take into consideration how many times each ex-Survivor player has played the game, who would you like to see come back? I know you don't give a shit about my opinion, but personally, or Jason from Fans vs. Favorites, because they really got fucked over. I mean, Eric got totally outplayed and he was a dumbass, but he did really good in the immunity challenges near the end. And Jason got totally overshadowed by Ozzy, even though he was in that season better than Ozzy. And also James from China, Fans vs. Favorites and Nears vs. Dylan. Because he got voted out once because of an injury. He got
I agree.
No. I've had enough of James.
Had like one fair shot at the game, and I'd quite like to see him come back. But like I said, that's just my opinion. No matter what you guys think.
Okay, my first word of advice is to shave that thing until it's a real mustache. And where do we get all these guys with these women's mustaches coming in here? All right, so who would you like to see come back for Redemption Island? Sandra.
Someone that went to the end but didn't win.
Oh yeah, me. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Does this mean that we're gonna have Philip back?
Why not?
I'll bet you.
Phillip.
I bet you Philip comes back.
I'd take a Phillip.
Eliza, who do you think?
I don't want James though. I know that, and I don't even know who Jason is. Who is Jason?
Jason was the one who gave me the fucking stick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He lives like in an island somewhere, right?
He lives in the Virgin Islands. He teaches 6th grade. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually think that Eric Reichenbach is a really, like what he said. Eric and Jason from Fans vs. Favorites would both be really good choices. They're both like physically fit. I think they probably have learned a lot from the first time they played.
Jason was like my least favorite player I'd ever, before my season, Jason was the least favorite player of all time.
Who would you think, Steven? Who would you like to see, Steven?
I would like to see Brian Heidik versus Todd Herzog.
That's good.
No,
That's
that
good.
would be really good.
That doesn't fit the theme of redemption.
Why?
Yeah,
They're both
won.
villains. But they're villains. They're getting redeemed.
Yeah, but Coach doesn't need redemption
you can't put
either.
a winner on redemption. Yes, he does. He was such a dick on his season.
He was.
But then everyone needs redemption.
He was a dick on his season, and he was just a pussy on what that was, Heroes versus Villains. Just such a pussy. I don't know what the fuck he's doing back. He must have given Probst a hand job behind the scenes or something. That's all I can figure. Let's do one more video mailbag, and then we're gonna call it a wrap, and we'll do our 2 juiced 6-minute original segments after that. Go. Hey!
Dino from Arizona. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
The challenge at Redemption Island, it just sucked. I hated it. It was almost like
So did we.
a waitress competition, stacking dishes, seeing who could hold it the longest. And after listening to Semhar and her spoken word, I'm really glad she went home. As a matter of fact, I will not be featuring Semhar in any of my future masturbation sessions. That's for sure.
Now, why do you always have to be so
gross? Every time he opens his mouth about Russell, he's basically confirming to the world that his uncle is indeed a douchebag. So, with this shit fest of a episode, I have a 2-part question. First off, how many times do you think his wife caught him masturbating to Michaela's website? That's the first one. And the second one is, do you think that Russell and his nephew are even on any speaking terms? I mean, it doesn't appear as though he even showed him how to play the game. What's your opinion on it?
Okay, let's skip the masturbation question because we all know the answer to that. Let's go to the second question. Do you think that Brandon actually did talk to Russell and get some pointers, or even told him he's going on the show, or what the fuck? What do you guys think?
Of course, he had to have given him pointers, and he probably gave him what he thought was the best strategy. But this kid obviously doesn't listen, and he has his own agenda, and he's gonna do whatever it takes for him to win, and not give Russell credit for his either. What am I trying to say? For his win. You know how some people try to give you pointers, and when you win, they're like, "Oh, because I gave her all that strategy or whatever."
Yeah.
So,
Not
but
any
you know what?
Whatsoever.
Yeah, this kid is crazy. So, fuck
I
them
can
both.
agree with
The
that.
nephew and the uncle.
What do you think, Steven?
I don't know. I have no opinion. I agree with what Sandra said.
Anybody differ?
He's paying attention to something else. He probably didn't even hear the question.
Honestly, I'm getting